Welcome to Keeping Up with Trends. This is Fed Zach, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and we're joined with your host, Sergio Davids. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Sergio. No matter what time you're listening to this, gotta cover your angles.
Sure. Hey, Fred. Always a pleasure to be here. Sun's out, and I've recently hit the beach, so it's all good, man. All good.
Fantastic. Okay, so what do we got up for our agenda today?
Awesome. I thought we could chat about Walmart and Home Depot beating company earnings this week. I mean, for Walmart, it's no real surprise. I mean, they've been beating earnings since, COVID started. For Home Depot, a little bit more interesting, seeing as how they've, you know, failed to meet their previous two earnings report and just delivered a stellar, quarterly this month. So let's start with Walmart. I mean, in South Africa, they used to be here. They had a presence in Johannesburg, and then they discontinued and closed shop. But I mean, it's got a way bigger, significant presence in the States. Maybe you can tell us about that.
Okay, so Sam Walton was the initial builder of Walmart. Now, Walmart generally works out of very rural areas. It's the mega store in a rural town. Okay, and you have to understand. I mean, America, the United States, and South Africa have one thing in common, whereas Europe or Asia does not. Is that you're very wealthy with land.
Right.
Okay, so maybe not in Johannesburg proper, but if you look at the land base of cities around the United States, they're flat and they're wide. I mean, Texas is just to fly from one side of the United States to the other side of the United States. I mean, it's a continent, right? It's 6 hour
It's
flight.
yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. So Walmart, kind of put everything together to make it that it's a small town mom and pop store on a mega level. And that is really their greatest advantage
Right.
versus their competitors. So they beat everybody in price. They are not, there are several competitors to Walmart. I mean, they have consumer goods, they have food, they have clothing, they have products that they sell. So they really have a whole range of different things. Now, they're the one step above Walmart, and has kind of almost copied Walmart in terms of the products that it offers is something called Target. And these two stores between
Yeah.
Walmart and, you know, Target, they do really a fantastic job. I mean,
It's it's interesting you mentioning Target because just like Walmart, they've also released company earnings, and unfortunately, just they failed to meet it. I think there was a bit of a boycott in the past quarter that hit them.
so yes, and what it is with Walmart in an environment where the economy is not doing as well, there's
Yeah.
more people gravitating towards Walmart
Yeah.
than to
Cheaper
some of
prices. Yeah.
cheaper prices. And they're not necessarily cheaper products.
Yeah.
I know some people that actually, through my brother, they used to sell a lot of products to Walmart, and they're very strict, very, very strict in terms of the quality, in terms
Oh,
of
okay.
delivery, and they are run like a really well oiled machine. Like, I mean, think about it. They are a $611 billion in revenue company,
Jeez.
and they have a bunch of subsidiaries. They're mostly in the United States, in Mexico, and in Canada. That's really their biggest presence. So, that is something that they're trying to get into Africa. Now, I understand why they would want to get into Africa. It makes much more sense because they need the space. I mean, they're a mega store. Average store size, I don't know how many square feet or square meters it is, but it's large. It is
Yeah.
really large. And when these companies do things like that, I mean, they do it on the American level, right? It's American standards. So, in populations like Europe, it doesn't make sense to do it because you don't have the land and you don't have the area and it's also a very generic kind of brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a
S-
specialty store. It's
Yeah.
not like Zara or, it's
I
very,
I remember my friend of mine when Walmart was still in Johannesburg. Walmart was 24/7. So
yeah.
he sent me a he sent me a video of doing his shopping at 1 in the morning. He's monthly shopping of 1 in the morning and getting a set of tires to go.
I'm saying they're a whole, so I'm saying, they have everything. The amount of array of products that they sell is just enormous. And the
It's
reason
something I still want to experience.
I don't know if I could go shopping there on a regular basis,
Yeah,
but I mean, it's definitely an activity. We always go to Walmart when we go into the States or we go to Target,
yeah.
uh, and you find things that you need that you didn't even know that you need, and you say, oh, that's a good idea to have that. And so it's a company that's not going anywhere. Now they have wanted to scale up on Amazon
Right.
uh, because they have been losing some sales to Amazon over time. So they've gotten a online presence over Corona. They really put a lot of effort into putting on presence online.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that is
especially after COVID. Yeah.
um, that's also something that they've been really working on to you know to kind of get market share from
From
Amazon,
Amazon. Yeah.
and it's 24% of their revenue, so that's a big chunk.
Sheesh. Yeah, that's quite huge.
That's big.
Yeah. Now moving on to Home Depot. Right. I mean, failing to meet its last two quarters. I mean, that's an easy one to kind of understand. I mean, you're in the heart of, high inflation, high interest rates. And recently they beat their, earnings. Would it be fair to say that they're a good, sort of barometer for whether or not the construction industry is picking up, or people now have money, disposable income to fix up their houses, flip properties? Would that be fair to say?
So I wouldn't say new homes would be under the category of Home Depot. I would say existing home sales,
Existing homes, yeah, home repair,
which is a different
DIY,
category, as opposed to like the home builders,
yeah,
which are companies like Lennar or Toll Brothers or Eight
yeah,
Key Homes. All these other major home builders, where they go into a empty plot of land and they build an entire suburb. So that would not really reflect on Home Depot. Now, Home Depot is the mega, um, utility store.
yeah,
It's
DIY,
yeah, it's DIY, but it's DIY on gardening. It's DIY on home fixing, on electric, on plumbing, on upgrades. And the beauty of it is that some of the workers that work there, if you want to hire them to do a job, Home Depot is cool with that.
huh.
So
That's
the guy,
interesting.
so like all these fix it guys that work there, you know, hey, let me help you out. Let me see what I could do for you.
I wouldn't be
So
surprised if that's, part of how they make, their salaries. So
I
that's a good
believe you
side
pay them
hustle. Yeah,
separately, actually.
yeah, that's a good side hustle. But, would it be fair to say that, if Home Depot's doing well, people have more disposable income? Because if,
Yes and
if if
no.
interest rates are high and
So
inflation is high, I'm gonna save every penny I have. I'm not gonna
so
bother with home repair.
I would say yes and no because in a kind of environment where there's not much growth, like real estate has gotten beaten up right now,
Sure.
um, because the interest rates are so high. So it would be a good time at the next upswing to participate in fixing up your homes now because there will be an upswing. So you could add value to the property in the meantime. And even if you do small home repairs, Home Depot it's small enough to really, add value to the personal homeowner.
Yeah.
Uh, so whereas commercial real estate is getting beat up, personal property is actually still doing pretty well, despite the fact that the interest rates are so high.
Right.
Prices haven't really come down. They've come down in certain areas, but in other areas, they're still maintaining themselves. So Home Depot is really like, it's an exciting company, actually.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Home Depot?
No, no, no. So I'd love to.
You know,
You always see it in pretty much every bit of pop culture.
I'm saying, like,
So,
you walk into Home Depot and you just want to buy stuff to fix up your house. I don't know how that works. But I'm saying, like, it's like you don't want to go to the mall, right?
yeah,
Because you go clothing shopping,
yeah.
and so, like, let's go to Home Depot and fix that, I don't know, bathroom we never fixed,
we it's funny you should say that because we have an equivalent in South Africa called Builder's Warehouse. And you're right, whenever I walk in there, especially with my old man, we go in there for one thing and come out with, a whole basket full of DIY stuff so we can go fix, the wall that's been broken for the past few years. It's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is about that place that just triggers your
It's a
inner
Sunday.
DIY.
It's a Sunday event. It's really a
Yeah.
Sunday event, a complete Sunday event.
And I guess finally, anything to share about the markets? I mean, I remember, it's I guess the northern hemisphere's, summer vacay. So like you said, markets are a bit slower.
So the markets are actually selling off just over the past, I would say, since beginning of August.
Yeah.
There seems to be a convergence in the market right now.
All
And I'm
right.
not sure if this is a validated convergence or um, we're shifting. We went from a very aggressive, from October to June, we were in a very bullish market.
Right.
So that's October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. That's 9 months
Right.
where the market completely went up. Okay. We went from the Dow Jones from 28,800 ish level to 35,300 ish level, which was only 1,000 points off of our all time highs. So that was a major, major upswing. I mean, I like across the board, Meta, Facebook, which is Facebook
Yeah,
formerly
all the tech stocks made a huge comeback
Tesla,
earlier this year.
Apple made a big comeback, made new highs for the year.
Microsoft also hit a
Microsoft,
record.
all those markets really came back big. But what's been disconcerting for me is companies like Alcoa trading lower.
Yeah.
So which way are we going? Are we going higher? Or are we going lower? Or nobody knows. So, I mean, the Fed's aggressive move with the interest rates has really stalled the market in certain industries. And I'm watching this happen, and I'm kind of saying to myself, well, is it going to hit the is tech going to survive and going to bring the market higher, or is the rest of the market going to bring tech down?
Yeah.
And this last stage of inflation subsiding to see that the interest rates are really, have taken the effect, and there he could go back to lowering the interest rates again, can cause us to be, in an area where, yeah, it's great that he's bringing down the interest rates, but there's been damage done, and it's going to take some time for
Yeah.
the healing to happen.
How much time though?
So, I mean, generally speaking, bear markets don't last forever. They last a very short time. They last about a year.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
However, that's Wall Street, but Main Street is another story, right?
Sure.
Um, so just because it's great that companies are bouncing back and their stock prices are bouncing back, but that doesn't mean that a person is out of work. They can find a job so quickly, so easily, so
Exactly.
fast. So that's something to consider.
Yeah. And I think on that note, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Fred, for all your awesome advice.
My pleasure, Sergio.
Cool. I'll see you on the next one.
Looking forward.